start recording. All right, we are on. All right. Yeah, our last video was abrupt.
All right. Oh no, it's all good. It just cut off. I was like,
yeah, I was like, bye. And then, I think we were actually granted I don't know how much time, but I think it gave us a little more time. So we'll see if we even use all of it. But yeah, it was nice.
I got a notification. It said that you upgraded to unlimited.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Just because of this Zoom. This one I see.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it gave us unlimited time for this one, so that's nice.
There we go.
So I want to. So today's is we are looking at concept art. I've seen a little bit of this, but not all of it. So Star Wars 30 unused concept art designs. So let's talk about it. Let's look at them. We were just having a little moment. That's all. We were just having a little moment. Okay, you can see my screen, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, I could see the characters there.
Okay. 30 minutes later. To our video. All right, so what we've got, I've seen snippets, but not all of this. And I thought it would be fun to kind of like go through and see 30 unused Star Wars concept art designs that would have changed everything. So I think that would be, let's look at it.
Sure.
And I'm assuming we may get a good laugh, or we might be really pumped. Okay. So each Star Wars movie has an iconic look. However, these concept art designs show a very different Star Wars. When George, and I don't know who these guys are, but when George Lucas released Star Wars back in 1977, there is no way that he could have known how big the series would become. Star Wars has become so big that anybody who works on a Star Wars movie is from then unknown for their work, with the franchise. Whether this means actor, director, writer, blah, 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 blah. And let's go down. Yeah, I want to get to the numbers. So number 30, a long-haired Darth Maul, Phantom Menace.
That's like the girl that crawls out of the TV.
Yeah, that's...
Only she's drunk and dyed her hair.
Right. Oh, that's horrific.
Hell no.
And what their species are called Zabraks, right?
Yeah, they're Zabraks.
I mean,
it's like a female-dominated species too, which is it's a different change of pace.
When I look at this, I can see the Night Sisters, absolutely, but definitely not Maul, and I'm glad they didn't go with that.
Same.
Yeah, that's haunting, man. Darth Sidious, apprentice in the Phantom Menace, was unique in a variety of ways. Darth Maul had a double-sided lightsaber, horns on top of his head, yes, and black red skin. Darth Maul was terrifying in the movies, so much so that people now compare the demon in Insidious to the Star Wars character. That's a funny comparison. Yeah, he would have looked very different, and I'm glad they didn't do that. So, number 29, we got Rey. Rey's training the Last Jedi.
There we go. I don't know the name of those training things that float around. I should really cover those because those are pretty popular.
Yeah. What do you think of this one?
I really like it, I'm a pretty big fan of Rey, and I know that the sequels are like a very edgy topic right now because so many people are just jumping on the hate train without really analyzing the movies. I mean, not saying that they can't dislike them. It's more so like be a little bit more open-minded about it. But either way, I really liked seeing Rey train, and it's like that moment with Luke. Neither of them trained for long, but they're both extremely powerful in the Force because of their lineage.
Yep.
And so these special moments when they're not only character development, but really seeing the struggles that they have while training and then overcoming them, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, no, I agree. 100% agreed, man. Yeah, I think this, when I look at this isn't so far-fetched. I feel like it just would have been a great addition. Mm-hmm. I think I would have been cool to see her. But I mean, it's not like we didn't see that. She still did. What was that in, that was in The Rise of Skywalker, right? We got to see her training with one of these little things. So we still
Yes.
got it, but like multiple of that would have been crazy. That's really cool. And just using a stick instead of a lightsaber. What?
That's
Okay,
her
Ray, I
thing
see
too. Because she's like the I forgot that guy's name. The one in Rogue One, the blind man. Yeah, it's training with the stick.
Yeah,
just give him a lightsaber
badass.
and he would be just overpowered for sure.
He was one of my favorite. And it's funny, I can't even remember his name, but I know who you're talking about. He was one of my favorite moments in Rogue One. So let's see. Let's go down. That was number 29. Let's look at number 28. A Frightening Chewbacca.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh geez.
I've seen this one like a while ago. You know what puts me in mind is Zeb, like a Lasat. Doesn't it kind of have that look?
Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, I was
really
wondering why he
does.
looked a little familiar, like a cracked out Zeb.
Yeah, and it almost makes me wonder if they like took inspiration to like make that species based off of, I mean, that's what the Mandalorian is like hugely known for, is using a lot of the unused stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if Dave Filoni, kind of was like, you know what, let me dabble in some of this unused art and create a little something new. That's what struck me when I first looked at this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'm glad that's not our Chewie.
Me too.
Oh
man, if all the Wookiees looked like that, I would never visit that planet ever.
Right. That's
even
why
if they were the
Lasat,
kindest.
Species are extinct, I think. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I'm just kidding. What is that, number 28?
Yes.
What do we have next on here? We have 27. Captain Dooku, Attack of the Clones. What does he look like? Captain Dooku.
Whoa.
Oh. I like my Dooku with a beard.
Yeah, he looks pretty colonial here. And
I was just about to say the same thing. He looks like he drinks coffee and eats biscuits.
For sure.
Shit, I don't know.
Dude, the actor, I cannot think of his name right now, but he was a badass in real life, and he played the part of Dooku as well, in Star Wars really well. Yeah, he's looking pretty colonial. I really like that coat. I don't know what the proper attire name for it is, but it seems like a very fancy trench coat, and obviously very stylish way back then, and even now I would rock that for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love my Dooku with the beard though, man. It's so, I mean, maybe he still has a beard in this, but it ain't as prominent as the one we're familiar with. It's not a terrible design. I think if it came out, if they used this back in the day, we would be like, so be it. We wouldn't know the difference, but which I guess you could say the same thing for most of the unused stuff, but I like Dooku the way they did him.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
What is this? 27. We got 26. I have seen this one before. This is C-3PO and R2D2, A New Hope. I'm gonna let you speak on this and then I'll talk. What do you think?
The face is more so like a neutral kind of calm concept to it. I do like C-3PO, but the only thing I've really hated about him from the beginning was his mobility. He's got his arms stuck like this. He can't really move, and he's getting shot at by God knows how many times by the stormtroopers, and he's just barely moving 2 feet an hour, and that's the only thing I don't like. But of course, he's iconic. He's amazing. He's taken part in so many important parts in galactic history. But I kind of dig this body a lot better, in my opinion. But what do you think?
It's not a terrible design at all. I think it's a little more, maybe this, I don't even know if you could say that droids have emotions, but I would say it's a little less emotion. There's less emotion in, and I think you kind of maybe touched on that, where the facial is a little bit different. So it's not as inviting as the one we know of, but I still do love the design. Now, the one that struck me the most is the R2d2 design, where you can definitely see Chopper. You know what I mean? I feel like they definitely took inspiration, in Rebels, a lot from some of this unused stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that's Chopper right there,
And
so
he's
I think it's cool, man, to see stuff. They Star Wars doesn't waste anything. We're very in terms of like the creative parts, they always kind of recycle everything down at some point, and I think that that's really cool. So yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I dig it.
25. Oh my god.
Oh no. No.
What? What is
Santa.
this?
He's gonna be delivering presents for me. That's
I
what
can't.
I
I'm
see.
gonna let you take this one, man. I can't.
He's guarding Dagobah with his life, and Dagobah is our front yard.
At this point, yeah.
He's a gnome. He's a gnome. Gnome Santa to me.
I'm glad they didn't do that. Yeah. There's some ideas that don't need to be used, and I think this may be one of them. But you know what though? I think it's always, I will be acceptable to this, not if it's connected to Yoda, but if it's like a callback, for some of these unused things, like at some point in like the animation part of things, if like we see a character that's like this, that we're all like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I know exactly what they were trying to do. I would be okay seeing that now, knowing like what he could have been. And I'm happy with the Yoda that we have. I like my Yoda green, you know what I mean? With the pointy ears and no beard. Yoda does not have a beard, okay? He's not a gnome. Oh, that would have been hilarious. But here's the thing, how would that have changed? No, but I guess here's the thing, because to me, if for all of this, if all of these things are what we would have gotten in Star Wars thus far, would we be okay with it is the question. And I guess we're asking that to the audience. But then, does this change the character? Guy, that's my question for you. Would this change the character of Yoda by the physical representation? What do you think?
I don't think so. If they used all these concepts, and they still made, back in 77 when they first came out with it, up until now, every single concept other than what we know now, I think we're all gonna still love it just the same.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, kind of just depends on people's taste. They could say, you know what, that Lasat's really ugly, I don't like that character, and it's like, all right, it's done. But you never know, some of these concepts could look better than what we know now, and really just depends.
Yeah, and I guess I use this term a lot, but I guess it's like in universe terms, like in real world terms, like if that's what we would have gotten, then we wouldn't know anything else other than that. But now having something to compare it to, I'm like, oh God, no. Oh yeah. I like my Yoda green. But yeah, no, I think you're right. Absolutely. Like, I think the character, there's something about the way a character is written that, like, no matter what they're gonna look like, they're gonna stay true to that character. But I'm happy with Yoda the way he looks. Same. Not the gnome one. But it is a funny design. Oh, look at those legs! My God.
Oh, jeez.
I didn't even see the whole image. Wow, Yoda's got. He looks a little taller than what we know. So there's that. 24. Borax Attack. Return of the Jedi.
Oh no! What is this?
Wow. Is this on Endor? Is that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Endor because you see the little Ewoks.
Yeah.
They look rough, kind of similar, but then you got this monstrous, like, it's like a mutated Yoda.
So you know what it makes me think of? I'm glad I just watched it, even though the first one was kind of painful to get through, but I mean, it was still fun because it's Star Wars. So Disney Plus, they have their damn it, why am I blanking out on the name? It's the older stuff they just released, on
the vintage section.
And there's a Ewok movie, I think it's like Battle for Endor or something, and they have this giant monster that's on Endor, and I don't know if that's the same thing, but it looks pretty damn similar. So that's what it makes me think of. So I wonder if they use that concept in the TV movie. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not a terrible design. I feel like for Endor, there's always weird shit that's on the planet. So I'm like, for me, that's not too far-fetched. I'm like, whatever. But it looks similar to that monster that was on the Battle for Endor, which I thought was pretty funny. Borax Attack, interesting. So that's 24. We got 23. A Sith Stormtrooper, A New Hope. Yes. Ooh. Yes. 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 Why didn't we get this? That would have been amazing.
Every Stormtrooper was supposed to have a lightsaber originally.
Really?
And then,
I didn't know this.
yeah, they actually cut that out, of course, but then they wanted to make it more rare for the timeline. I guess they were already thinking ahead, like, hey, if these Jedi are already going to be almost extinct, these lightsabers can't be that common. But there is one Stormtrooper in canon that did wield a lightsaber that actually trained. It was like a trap, but he kind of trained Luke for like this. It was like a fight in a ring going on. It was like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I covered him.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was just about to say something about that. Wasn't that pretty much where Luke got his extended lightsaber training? Was from this guy? Yeah, he kind of got training from a little bit of everybody, and it worked out. Because look where he is now, you know. That's a really cool concept, man. I hope they come out with because I have, you know what, I'll pull it out and show you guys. So since we're talking about concept art, I have, can you see my screen?
Yeah,
so
it's
I have
quite small. I can see it.
You know, Darth Vader, you know, concept art, you know, version of Darth Vader, which is just fantastic. And I mean, they have like the other ones, like there's C-3PO, there's a Yoda and R2d2. So I'm thoroughly in love with the concept art of Star Wars. I think it would be amazing to get a Stormtrooper, you know, Funko Pop or something that has a lightsaber. I think that would be really cool. And I feel like in world, I'm like, why don't they have? That would be kind of cool to actually see that like in film or in animation. I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, if you look at the body too, it looks very similar to the First Order as well for their slim design. I really like that.
Yeah, that's pretty badass, man. That's not, but I do like what you said too, and you mentioned a couple things I didn't even know, but it does make more sense for it to be kind of this rare thing, especially when you play on that with the story. It's like that was a sacred thing that was known for Jedi. So if everybody had them, then it kind of takes away from the specialness of that particular weapon. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was like, oh yeah, I guess I never really thought about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, what is that? 23. That leaves us at 22. Oh yeah, we know this one. This is the Arachnophobia Nightmare Fuel.
Yes. I hate spiders. So seeing these not only in The Mandalorian but in Rebels just freaked me the hell out.
Yeah, man. Guy, go ahead and talk about that. Specifically, like, how did it make you feel seeing these guys in The Mandalorian?
Daddy Longlegs are good with me. We're homies. When it comes to any other spiders, like, they don't bother me. I don't really bother them unless I absolutely have to kill them. Yeah. I'm more so like cool with any kind of snake, but these guys, man, giant spiders just freak me out. And I can't really blame them for being as aggressive as they are, because when you're around their nest, any parent is going to be like, get the hell away from my babies. And they're going to just do whatever they can. But for the most part, if I remember correctly, in Rebels, Ezra tames a couple of them, and through the Force, you know, he kind of puts that information out there, like, I'm not here to hurt you, just don't hurt me. And then they seem to be cool as can be. So, still freaky as hell though. I would not visit.
I mean, I remember my first experience seeing these, was in Rebels. And then the way it made me feel The Mandalorian, man, I think there's a part of me that gets a little claustrophobic. Like, for example, like when we go shopping at Costco, there are times I absolutely hate it. Like, I need to make sure I eat lunch or have a snack on hand, you know, so I don't get hangry, number one, shopping at Costco. And it's just, you know, so many people. So, you know what I mean? Like, I hate it, and it's so busy. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, hopefully this makes sense, is, you know, that scene where all of the spiders are kind of like cramming into, you know, the ship, Razor Crest, you know, and they're all busting in, and you see them crawling on the walls, and you just feel so enclosed. It really made you feel uncomfortable, and I felt very uncomfortable and itchy after watching it. So they did a great job depicting that. Where was that world at though? It was not Hoth. It was a different stuff. I don't even know.
I couldn't tell you either. Honestly, like, I wasn't a big fan of the episode because of course they're gonna have at least a couple fillers and like more so like character development. It showed the relationship between him and Grogu really growing and really connecting, more so cementing it.
Yep.
But still, I didn't really like the episode. I was like, okay, they're gonna deal with a few spiders and then go away. But then it was mainly based on that, and I was like, I just didn't pay attention to a lot of it, to be honest.
No, I hear that. It sounds like this one. So this one creature Luke was supposed to encounter on Dagobah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which I could see because, yeah, you know, kind of like a weird forest, you know, where Yoda was. I'm sure there would be some weird, you know, shit that would probably go down there as well. So that's interesting. The spider resembles the Queen Xenomorph in James Cameron's 1986 Aliens, even though The Empire Strikes Back came out first in 1980. This design first appeared as a species called Krykna in Kevin J. Anderson's novel Dark Saber, and later showed up again in Star Wars Rebels. Interesting. Kevin J. Anderson. That was the dude I was telling you about that I reached out to.
Oh,
cool dude, man. Cool dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Interesting. Anybody with arachnophobia should be happy that this concept didn't get approved.
Oh, for sure. I just realized that if you look at our little cameras on the right hand side, if you go over to grid, you can actually expand it and it shows our pictures and our video a lot better.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one do I press?
So there's those options where it's like show thumbnail video, and then there's like the grid. Like I guess it kind of just shows how our videos are lined up. And then you're able to, where our cameras are, you can just slide it on the left side or the bottom and it expands it.
So I think I can do it. No.
I don't know if your computer can do it, but at least for mine, I mean, it should work the same.
Yeah, it should. I'm trying to figure out how to expand this thing. I feel like that shortens it.
Just in case it's a little too tiny.
Yeah, no, for sure. I should figure this out, man. Oh, I think I figured it out. Maybe. No. I was trying to figure it out.
It's all
good.
good.
You know how to expand videos on here? Oh, did I do it?
I can't see it on your screen.
I think I'm messing with it.
Because it doesn't show on mine,
I think
of course.
just making this piece bigger as I'm sharing it. That's fine. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I just thought of it, and if I don't say it, it's just out of my memory.
No, I'm glad you mentioned something, because I'm like, I know there's a way to do it. Yeah, that's fine. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out on our next one. I'm like, but I know there's a way. I'm learning this doggone thing, man. It is a process. Okay, let's look. Oh, look, Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the difference here?
He doesn't have any clothes on. That's the only thing I noticed.
I mean, if you hated Jar Jar before, would you hate him naked? Does that make him better? That's the real question.
My wife, she loves Jar Jar.
Yeah.
And the only thing I don't like about him is the way he speaks. Like, the way he speaks to me is just so obnoxious. But like, that's the kind of standard I'm holding my page to. Like, I've covered him and I'll cover him many more times. Like, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
You know, even if you dislike a character, there's no reason to shoot it down if someone else loves him. But that was the only thing.
Friends with Star Wars guy. No.
Yeah, it's just it's the only thing that irks me. But other than that, like, his character's fine. He fits in, you know, just the same as anyone else.
Yeah. You know, I like the fact that we're getting a little more why am I tripping out on the species name? Grogans, right?
Oh, that's
the species name, right? Grogans?
No, for Jar Jar is their species name.
Gungans,
yeah. There we go.
What am I talking about? Gungans. Yeah. I like in Light of the Jedi, there's a specific Gungan who's like just a complete badass. He's like pretty much like a pirate raider, you know, but you know, he's evil. But it's cool seeing different, you know, pieces of the species, doing different things, outside of just Jar Jar. Even though, Jar Jar wasn't terrible. He was definitely made for, the kids. And as a kid, I enjoyed it. As I got older, and I remember like watching, I was like, this guy's kind of annoying, just a little bit, but then, as I never hated him, unfortunately, like, how some of the fandom has been to the point where it's just like,
it's toxic.
Ridiculous. Yeah. But, again, he wasn't my favorite character, but I remember as a kid, kids, we ate that stuff up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think if, like, in a new movie or in a new TV show, if they brought out a badass Gungan, it would totally redefine the definition of a Gungan. And it's not just, derpy guys who speak funny. It's like, they could be badasses too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's not too far-fetched. Just naked, it looks like, in this one. So.
For sure.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do we have? Number 20. Kylo Ren is missing an arm.
Ooh, I like this version of Kylo Ren.
Yeah, look at that mask.
That's a lot more similar. And like I said before, I'm not trying to hate on the character we have now. I wish that we had more of Ben Solo, but the mask just it never rubbed right with me. And I think if he was hooded like this and the mask was more defined to look more like Vader's, oh man, that would be so cool. And also the iconic Skywalker missing a limb, that would be sweet. But what do you think?
I will say that, I feel like for the heroes and some of the characters, there was a piece of that. If I could pick apart anything I would change in the, sequel trilogy is like I guess you could still say the stakes were raised. But when you think about like prequels and original trilogy, like someone always got an arm cut off or something, what I mean? Or body chopped in half or something, you know what I mean? And I feel like in that aspect, they kind of played it safe. You know what I mean? Like with the characters, where I feel like that would have been an interesting aspect or addition, to the characters, which I still love. I still love the sequels for what they are, but I feel like if I could change or add anything, it would be, raising those stakes just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's the same attitude that a lot of original trilogy fans had for the prequels. They're like, oh, this is stupid, this is garbage. But Revenge of the Sith is like held up to a higher standard, and it's like, well, there's good and bad in all of it, It's just how it goes.
What do they say about this? For some fans, it was a dream come true when they saw Darth Vader's burnt helmet in the trailer for J.J. Abrams' The Force Awakens. It is later revealed that Kylo Ren, the grandson of Darth Vader, is in possession of the decrepit helmet.
It's a new word.
Kylo Ren looks very different here. This version of Kylo Ren has a prosthetic arm as well as a completely different helmet and a chest plate. Kylo Ren may be feared by his followers, but fans would have feared him much more if this vision would have appeared on screen. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting. I feel like then we would have had to have more kind of like backstory on like, kind of like the suit and whatnot, and kind of like what happened to his arm, all that kind of jazz. You know what I mean? Going on, one of the favorites, number 19, Boba Fett. Guy, go ahead and talk about this one. What do you think?
So this was the original concept for Boba Fett. He was supposed to be like it shows, the super trooper. Out of all the stormtroopers, he was supposed to be the one that's like the more advanced, more badass version. But of course, if you were to put an army of stormtroopers behind him, or even mix him in with a crowd, he pretty much blends in. Yeah. So of course they had to change up the color scheme and everything else, his armor. But all in all, I mean, I still think that it looks pretty cool. It definitely fits into the Star Wars universe. And if they brought a different character in this outfit, I mean, I would not mind it at all.
Yeah, I think ultimately, when I look at this one and I feel like, okay, this is what we would have gotten in the original trilogy, same, I wouldn't have minded at all. We obviously we wouldn't know any difference, but again, it still has that same badass look to it. And I think, yeah, you're right. I remember just looking up older stuff, about, George Lucas's plans for the original trilogy. And again, like you said, Boba Fett was supposed to be that super, white commando bounty hunter, which this definitely, captivates that whole, type of design. So I think that I wouldn't have minded this at all. That's pretty cool.
For sure.
It reminds me of your helmet. Right? Isn't that kind of like the same thing?
Yeah, it's basically the same. Well, just of course the more modern Mandalorian helmet, but it's the same as Boba Fett's, just painted white, and it looks pretty clean.
Yeah, that is very clean, man. This is number 19. We're on to 18. A whole new crew, Rogue One. Who's the crew?
Oh, there we go.
This would have been the crew. Interesting.
So now that they said Rogue One, you can kind of see where it's K2SO, and the left kind of looks like C2PO.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jyn Erso is probably the right next to him, or the one in the Rebel outfit.
That's what I was thinking.
And then the others. Oh, you have the the sharpshooter over there, but the other names I'm not really too familiar with.
This must be Cassian, I would assume.
Oh, Cassian Andor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These, I don't know, who would this be? These guys? I don't know.
I'm pretty positive we did see one of these in either Rogue One or maybe Solo. I don't know. It looks very familiar.
Oh, and like in the background, right? They were like a passing character, but didn't have a prominent role. Yeah.
It looks so familiar.
Interesting. That would be real. I mean, yeah, this wouldn't have been terrible. I mean, I'm happy. I love Rogue One for what it was. But yeah, this wouldn't have been a terrible crew.
For sure.
Although the droid, I like the droid better in Rogue One. That style, the way they did it, I think it looks cooler.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still not a bad crew. Not bad at all. 17, a female Luke. Ooh-wee.
Okay.
What now? We got a female Luke. This would have been in New Hope.
So you got the whole crew there.
Wow. So who is this supposed to be? Is that Vader? Or no, that would be Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I think
Obi-Wan.
so.
Yeah.
He looks pretty young to be Obi-Wan.
Yeah, right?
But as you can, I have some old comics that came out 77, 78, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And each of these lightsabers have this point to it rather than it being rounded.
Yeah.
So this is truly vintage when you look at those, but the weapon styles are pretty similar.
Yeah.
We've already seen like the 50s looking vintage C-3PO. R2d2 looks pretty spot on. He's got that claw on too, but he looks pretty similar. And then Luke is, I don't want to like sound like I'm making fun of him, but still kind of like the same bowl cut that was pretty popular back then.
Yep.
You still have the Y-wing up there, and the Death Star looks different too. Holy hell,
that's crazy, man. I still can't get off of that Chewbacca. But again, I'm telling you, man, that looks like, I feel like they must have got inspiration for the Lasat species based off of this design, because that's all I see now. That's all I see.
Yep.
For sure. How cool too. Like anyone who, I know there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of folks who have different feelings about the sequels. There's some people who don't like Rey Skywalker. But how cool, like the original design, there was talks about Luke being a female lead, and you think about the story of Star Wars and how impactful. And I guess this goes back to that question earlier when we were talking about, Yoda. If the character's looked changed, and in this question, if the character's gender changed, does that change the character? Not necessarily. I think, it still would have been just as impactful. That's crazy to think about, like all these years. And Luke Skywalker is a household name. So just imagine, like, if they ended up casting as a girl, would that have changed anything about the character? Not necessarily. I don't think so. But
it's two different times as well. Back then, women were more so looked down upon, like, oh, you're not tough, you can't do this, you can't do that kind of thing, kind of mindset. We're still dealing with it a little bit today.
Yeah.
Of course, you've seen it with other Star Wars creators. Guys like to doubt them and everything else, belittle them, whatever. But I think it's still we're still dealing with it with Rey Skywalker, she has essentially the same timeline as Luke, the same exact background of having an incredibly powerful lineage, and it's just like a lot of people just don't want to accept it. I mean, when you think about it, she grew up on a desert planet. Luke did the same thing. Yeah. She's being mentored by someone who was part of the the Jedi Order that is not, I don't want to call Luke crazy, but is not the same as before. Yoda did the same thing with Luke. And then they take on the most powerful entity and ruling the galaxy right now, and it's the same thing. It was Palpatine in the end, so I don't know. It's just a name. I could be adopted tomorrow. I could become a Smith if I wanted, so people are just freaking out over a name, and it's like Luke and Leia, they wanted her to have the name. You don't want to walk around with the last name of Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini.
I would change a job anywhere.
Yeah, right. So no one wants to get that, but I don't want to ramble too much, but I think I'm just incredibly happy that females are having a more powerful role in Star Wars, because before then, they weren't allowed in. It was like a boys club only. If you were a female Star Wars fan, they're like, oh, you don't know anything about Star Wars. But now it's like there's some girls out there that really know Star Wars, like deep diving into it. And I just treat people all the same. I respect them all the same, no matter what. But not looking too deep into it, man. It's awesome. It's cool.
I agree. I feel like years ago I was like, I always thought like the nerdy stuff. Like I knew that there were girl, nerds out there, but the nerdy stuff was always like, oh, guys, that's, what we're into. But it's cool, like how times have definitely changed. And like you said, that's not necessarily true. Like you have so many people who are, guys, girls, everybody who are, into this stuff, and they value it. You know what I mean? And I think that's just so cool to see how the fandom has expanded in that way.
Yeah, most definitely.
16, Celebration on Coruscant, Return of the Jedi. No, it's not terrible. I mean,
yeah, the
building has that vibe of Coruscant.
Yeah, the buildings look pretty much the same as what we have now, just way more modernized and, of course, futuristic and pointy.
Yeah, you have some people in like a bubble of some sort, but I don't know what that is.
This definitely fits Star Wars.
Yeah. But I mean, when I think Coruscant, I'm like, oh yeah, this doesn't seem too far-fetched.
God,
Kylo Ren. Oh, I would love to hear what the ladies have to say about this. Does this change the way the ladies look at Kylo Ren if he had no hair?
I cannot show Meg Skyrenobi. She loves Kylo Ren. She loves Anakin Skywalker. If I showed her this, she would probably disown me forever.
It makes me think of you got to give the bald people some love, man. You got to, because think of like who's the Jedi? Why am I tripping out on his name? Starkiller. You know what I mean? He was a badass and he was bald, right? Wasn't he bald? Or did he have a fade?
Yeah, he had really short hair.
He did have really short hair.
It was like
close to bald. He was close to bald. That's what this makes me think of is Starkiller, man.
Oh yeah, and bald guys, when you think about it, bald guys typically have that, I guess, since society tagged it on there, kind of like a menacing look. If you have a bald head and a beard, you're like a ultra badass. And it's like, all right, well, might as well make him bald.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been, a bald Kylo Ren. I don't know.
It's interesting. With it.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I feel like it doesn't change my feelings toward him too much. I would just be like, whoa, what was the reasoning? But if he was always bald, I mean, hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the only thing is he's the son of Han Solo, so you gotta have some luscious hair. You're gonna be Solo son. That's the only thing. But
sure.
it doesn't change my feelings towards it too much. 14, blonde Han shot first. Han Solo.
Okay. So this is supposed to be that scene where they're in the cantina.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be like a version of Greedo, which he looks really creepy.
Yeah.
And then Han Solo, he's still got that brown jacket on, still has like a kind of like a navy blue shirt, but he's got like pilot glasses and goggles. There's like an owl in the front though, on the front left. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
got a Stormtrooper. Oh yeah, I see R2 and C3PO.
What do you think?
I mean, it's not a bad design. It's not. I think, but you know, I guess, yeah. I think it could still work if that's what we got. I think when I think of Han Solo's design, you know, he's kind of got his shirt unbuttoned a little bit. You know, he shows a little skin on his chest, shows his chest hair, and he's, you know, he's pretty laid back. You know, and I think that speaks to his character. But you know, I think ultimately, you know, Han was always supposed to be like that older, you know, character in the group, you know, who was a little more experienced and, you know, whatnot in terms of battle. You know, so I think this still fits. I think it still fits.
Oh, yeah.
Number 13, Solo in Trouble, Empire Strikes Back. This must, the Carbonite. This must be, yeah.
That chamber fort. Okay, the first thing I noticed when you look at Boba, he has that, it kind of seems like a poncho on, and I have a carbonized Boba right here.
Oh,
and
nice.
Where's the camera? If you can see that, does that look pretty familiar to that?
It does. It does.
Like the same kind of concept there. You even got a concept Vader, which looks pretty damn similar to what we know now.
Yeah. Yep. That's crazy. Yeah, I think this would have been. I mean, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. I like what we got with Boba, but I mean, again, if that's the original, I would have been fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he still looks pretty badass.
I think his helmet still has the J guys on him too. That's, if that's right, if I'm looking at it right. Little points.
Oh yeah. I think it does. Yeah, this isn't too far-fetched for me. I think that still would have been cool. I don't know. I like a lot of the unused stuff, man. It's fun to look back over.
Same.
12. A very tall emperor. Ooh, but you know what this makes me think of? You know what they definitely used?
What's up?
You know what I'm thinking? Is Snoke. It makes me think of Snoke.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
see.
When I think of a really tall, you know, emperor, it just has that feeling. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
Because I always
now
thought that
see
too. Like in the sequels, like, man, this dude seems like a giant. You know, really tall. And I wonder if they borrowed some of those aspects for Snoke's character. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's got kind of like a robe looking. Got kind of has that going on, but yeah, still the same kind of theme going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna zoom through these last few because I forgot my wife. She's actually getting her second COVID shot today.
Wow,
Woo-hoo.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna zoom through 11 through 1. Battle of Genosis.
Awesome. Looks pretty similar.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I'm like, I don't see anything. Yeah, it looks very similar. What the hell?
Yeah.
Except, that's supposed to be Padme. Her shirt needs to be ripped. Classic. Let's see. Number 10, Worm Creatures, Revenge of the Sith.
Scary.
Sith. We never got that, right? Like, I don't remember.
No.
Yeah.
Not that I know of, no.
What is this history on this prequel trilogy? Brought to life many species of extraordinary creatures. Some of the creature designs were better than others, but here's an example of of one that never made it into the finished movie. Okay, so this is just one that they never brought over. Interesting.
Huh.
That's weird. Number 9, the Emperor's volcano lair, Return of the Jedi. Huh. He's just chilling in a volcano.
Yeah, it seems like such a weird place to just sit. Like the floor is lava, and then you just make your grand chair there. Yeah, and then you're like, yeah, just watch your step while you come over to me.
Right. You know, if anything, it gives me those Mustafar vibes. But yeah, the practicality of having a little throne on a volcano is like, why? All the smoke and everything you're breathing in, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I think of, man. I don't know. Battle Droids, Phantom Menace. Oh, this looks pretty. I mean, this one over here, on the end, that looks a little different in terms of design. But you know, we got the Roger ones here. Yeah, this is pretty. It looks the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does.
I don't see anything too different. This looks a little different. This other one on the bottom, but not too far-fetched.
Classic for sure.
7, Asajj Ventress. It looks the same.
Yeah, it looks
Pretty
the same
much.
to me.
I feel like for me, she almost looks like if they did live action Asajj, this is probably something, that we would have gotten.
For sure.
Yeah, not too far-fetched at all for her either. Then we have Grievous, number 6.
Oh, damn. Look at that. Same head, but the body, he just looks ready to go. He's
and if I'm correct on my knowledge of him, he purposely upgraded his body with cybernetics to be what he is, which is crazy. I'm like, why would you want to do that, man? That is crazy. But yeah, this is still a badass design. I mean, if that's what we would have gotten, I wouldn't be complaining either.
No, same.
But he needs a lightsaber.
R2 they made that. Wow, that's neat.
Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine may have been the true villains of Episode 3, but General Grievous certainly was an enemy of the Jedi. Yes, indeed. Number 5, Darth Vader's Castle, Force Awakens. Ooh.
I really wish that we got to see more of Vader's castle. Really get to see how he designed it, what's in there, what he does every day that he's there, besides the cryo chamber.
You know what it makes me think of? I don't know if you played Jedi Knight Academy, but in that game, you get to see a little bit of Vader's castle and the statue and just everything. You get to run around in there. It's pretty cool. It makes me think of that. But this would have been cool to see, and makes me wonder, would that be, I wonder if Kylo Ren may have, had a base or something at Vader's castle, if that was an idea early on. That's the only reason why I would think if this was concept art for Force Awakens, that's the only thing I could think of why they would use it.
Yeah. For sure. He would try and be the new Vader, of course, and live there.
Yep.
After it's been abandoned since he was gone, he's got to clean it up, modernize it a bit.
Scruffy looking Lando.
Oof. The droid doesn't look far off. I don't know what's going on.
No, I mean, it looks like Donald Glover.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. He's got that swagger to him.
Yeah, is this for Solo? Because I'm this looks newer.
Yeah, it's for a concept for Solo.
Yeah, I'm this doesn't look, it looks, but this must be L3, right? Yeah. I like the L3 that we got, but I mean, even so, not bad. Cloud City Showdown, The Empire Strikes Back. That's the Vader concept art. I have that one. And then 2, Battle of Mustafar with Monsters, Revenge of the Sith. That one would have been really fun. And then we have number 1, Duel of Fates 2.0, The Force Awakens. So,
man,
this one would have been really, really fun.
Sure.
Lightsaber Saga, one of those battles took place between Rey, Finn, and Kylo Ren. That would have been really fun. Oh yeah. So that's the concept art. That concludes cool. This episode. I forgot we have to go do her COVID appointment, so we got to go take her to get her shot. So I'm zooming out of here. But Guy, thank you for tuning in, man. And guys, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Follow this page and also follow Guide on YouTube as well and on TikTok. And we will see you guys for the next video. And let us comment below. Let us know what you thought about all of this, concept art, unused stuff. Would it change your mind about how you view the Star Wars movies? Comment below and let us know. Guide, we'll see you for the next video.
All right. Take care, brother. Later.